He's on Blue White Miracles and Lauren's on Rug Delver.
There we go. You can see the excited look in the face of our invitational champion from last invitational.
Okay, and we just gotten the deck lists.
And this is game 3, so these players here are sideboarded.
So Hetrick does have the red mana that he played last week. The red basically allows him to have a third color for engineered explosives and then have Pyroblast off the sideboard. Okay, so then there's a Pyroblast. Lauren, Delver going bye-bye. Lauren is playing Rug Delver. I'm just trying to check if he has anything kind of particularly interesting. It looks pretty stock. It doesn't seem to diverge too much.
I mean, we're going to see him with Krosan Grip for the counterbalance top elements of Michael Hetrick's deck. Pyroblast just to fight against a blue-based deck. And I think the Red Elemental Blast, some people bring in Surgical Extraction. I am not a fan of that in this matchup. Yeah. Yeah,
it does kind of give you some options versus Terminus, which is one of the little tricks you can do with Extraction. Is if someone has a miracle in the graveyard and then they reveal the same miracle, you can actually strip it out of the hand before they get to miracle it. So that's a little like tricky interaction that some people think is worth bringing in Surgical Extraction. In general, I think it's probably...
I think it's too romantic.
Yeah, it's a little too tricky. I don't think that Terminus is actually that big a threat. Like, Rug Delver doesn't want to put too many threats in play at the same time, so I don't think it's a big deal.
So we see a Brainstorm spell pierced by Michael Hetrick. He's stopping a Braincestral Recall because of that Scalding Tarn. You draw 3 from the Brainstorm, put 2 back, use the Scalding Tarn, and it's not a real Ancestral Recall, but it sure feels like it sometimes.
Yeah, I think Spell Pierce is one of those cards that sometimes you feel you should get it out of your hand while it still has some value. A Brainstorm is a fine target for a Spell Pierce. I don't think they're going to be fighting over too many. He wants to make sure that he gets rid of the lessens the threat density in Lauren's deck. Okay.
Now remember, at home you can follow along on the Twitter conversation, hashtag SCGINVI, SCGINVI. And at SCG Live for everyone here, Michael Hetrick lays a island and says go.
So in his hand he has 2 Terminuses, a Entreat the Angel, a Force of Will, and a Swords to Plowshares. Swords to Plowshares is not so good against the Nimbongus right now. I think Hetrick's really kind of like aching for a Brainstorm so we can at least put those Terminuses back into the deck or on top of his library. Draws another island. But Lauren Nolen does not have Threshold, so it's kind of...
It's a very anemic goose. It is not loose.
Let's see.
In for Uno.
Yep. Trying to have a look at Lauren's hand here. And that seems to be just light on land. Hetrick draws another island. He can now hard cast his Force of Will. Lauren has at least a Red Elemental Blast and a Spell Pierce in his hand. Reb not that particularly good right now. Oh.
There are still 3 islands left in Michael Hetrick's deck.
Yep.
Lots and lots there. We got this fetch in response to the Terminus. So nice when you only spend 1 mana for it.
Can you actually sack in response to into a miracle?
That's a good question.
Actually, I'm not sure.
You might not be able to. That's worth finding out. I bet you can, but I'm not certain.
Yeah, I thought you actually had to play it immediately. That might not be the case.
Well, we will. I've sent that question to our director to make sure that we get that checked before we get too far. We might end up having it be just fine. We do have judges right there who are watching this, and they often know pretty well about these things. My own level 2 judge status lapsed long ago. 4/5 comes out. That's a Tarmogoyf with a lot of friends. We got a sorcery, instant, land, and I believe a creature.
Yep.
And does a Swords to Plowshares take care of it? And the thing I'm getting back right now is you can definitely do that. So
Yeah.
Force of Will on the Swords to Plowshares.
Hetrick does have another Swords to Plowshares, but no extra white. Have to wait till the next turn.
For those of you who are just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan in the booth here with the Ben Sec.
How's it going?
In for 4, says Tarmy.
Okay, so Hetrick still on a pretty high life total on 13. I'm pretty sure he's going to cast swords this turn. He drew.
I cannot see. He put it in and shuffled it away.
Yeah.
Or shuffled it into the hand.
I think it was a miss. No, oh, it's
Top.
a top.
There we go. He drew an awesome card.
Yes, that card is going to do him a lot of favors.
Remember, we are currently in game 3.
So Hetrick probably wants to try and work out whether he should wait to plow so we can actually use the force as backup for it. The cards that Nolen has is I think he has a red elemental blast and a pyroblast in his hand, as well as a spell pierce. Though he did force a spell pierce, so I'm not sure if he has another one in hand. Lauren cracks his Scalding Tarn, probably to get another volcanic island or an island. The volcanic island. He does have 2 red elemental blasts, so probably wants the ability to cast both of them in the same turn. Okay. Oh, the Crossing Grip is going to be cast on the top. You cannot respond to that at all. The one thing he can do, though, is basically
wait and then swords afterwards.
He has to wait until actually Lauren passes priority, but
Split second is so awesome.
oh yeah, no, there's so many little tricky things. I mean, usually a top could save itself, but not against split second. Hetrick's in a pretty reasonable position actually. There's no threats in play.
He's got a Force of Will he can hard cast.
Yeah.
A fair cushion of life. And it does not look like Lauren Nolen has anything that can do a massive amount of reach. There are no price of progresses in this particular build. So I think that Michael Hetrick has rounded the bend.
Yeah, no, all he needs really is maybe something to replace the top. He just drew a counterbalance. A counterbalance is 1/2 of what he needs here. I would say the top is really the next part of it.
He holds back on that counterbalance, saving up his ability to Force of Will without pitching.
Yeah, I think he knows that he may have to hard cast a Terminus in the near future. So at that point you want to make sure that you can.
And there's a hard cast Force of Will.
Okay.
And this might summon a Pyroblast?
Pyroblast or a Spell Pierce if he has it. I think he might go for Spell Pierce because that's a card that seems to go down in value, especially in the later part of the game. No, it's a Pyroblast.
Pyro. Okay. And Hetrick is absolutely fine with that. I mean,
yeah, no. He really just wants to kind of attrition out all the reactive elements of Lauren's hand because, one, the Delver is actually not that much pressure. Even if it flips next turn, he goes to 9. He has 2 Terminuses in his hand. It's almost worth kind of just casting a Terminus to.
Oh, I think so.
Just to draw something out. It looks like he's going for the. I think he's going for the counterbalance for the sole reason that it's possible that if he cast if it dropped, the Terminus could counter the whatever's countering the Terminus.
We see a flip. That's the first time I've seen anyone flip like that. That's awesome. Okay. We see a flip there for the Delver after the counterbalance is Pyroblast.
Yeah.
And so now Michael Hetrick is at 9 life. that time you see on the top is the accurate time for this match.
Yeah, so actually, like, Hetrick's actually got himself into a little bit of trouble now because Lauren Nolen has Force of Will with a blue card as well as Pyroblast.
It looks like he's attempting to miracle a entreat the Angels for some number. It could be 2 to play around Pierce. It could be 4 just to go all the way in. It could be 3 to play around Daze.
I think playing around Pierce is probably fine. I think
2 Angels would be sufficient.
Yeah, like there's no reason to just. Oh no, he looks. No, he looks.
Plays around the Pierce.
Yes. There's no point kind of like when 2 Angels are going to be definitely enough to just randomly get yourself.
And there's the Pierce.
Yeah, so he either read it well or just like decided that it was worth it. So now I think Lauren has 2 cards in hand, 1 land and a Pyroblast. So provided that no other counters get drawn, he'll probably cast the Terminus next turn so he doesn't go further down than 5.
5 is low enough that even the crappy burn spells that are in Lauren's deck could finish the job. And now Lauren might have actually boarded out every one of those burn spells. So.
Yeah, no, not a lot of stuff to bolt. I mean, sometimes you want a little bit of reach. He does have Jace the Mind Sculptor, Hetrick does. So sometimes you need to have a bolt just to be able to get it off the table before it does too much damage. So Lauren passes the turn. Hetrick looks at the top of his deck.
Now remember, Lauren Nolen is a defending champion here at the Invitational, so and Hetrick, that works.
Yep, the Terminus does resolve. Delver goes to the bottom of the deck. He actually has another Entreat the Angels in hand, which he may just hardcast at this point, unless he draws a Brainstorm pretty quick smart, because I think he's going to want to start trying to kill Lauren before he may still have bolts in his deck.
I mean, Michael does not want to go to 3 or less life.
Yes. So
I see an Enlightened Tutor there.
Yeah, so I think he's a Humility in the sideboard. And a land tax. I don't think he brought in the land tax. A Warmth. A Warmth actually, if he did bring it in, would actually give him a little bit of like safety against Bolt if he really was worried about it. But
goes Terminus once again. And Lauren Nolen says...
Wow, Terminus for...
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, no, I don't either. So he's going to Scour, hoping to...
Maybe something good will happen here. Goodbye Tarmogoyf, goodbye Spell Snare, and hello...
Brainstorm.
Is that a fetch land in play underneath that?
It is. I believe it's a blue-green fish land.
Okay. Yep, it is. Misty Rainforest is hiding out there to make this a Brain Ancestral Recall.
It's going to be good, I think.
Land.
Wasteland. And another Wasteland. So
Wasteland not great against Hetrick right now. You can see all of the basics in play.
It does allow him to get rid of 2 lands, because he was holding a land already. But
Terminus is still going to hit.
Yes. So Lauren's going to end up with no threats.
Puts 2 cards back. Loses the poor little Delver of Secrets. Fetches.
That is time in the round. Finish your current turn, take up to 5 additional turns, complete your match.
I think what Hetrick is probably going to try and do, I think, is going to like fish a white going down to 4. And then probably hard casting his Entreat for 2. And then trying to kind of like push the game to an end before, the 5 life gets at him.
The Enlightened Tutor he has in his hand, there was an Enlightened Tutor and a Entreat in his hand, is that correct?
Yes.
The Enlightened Tutor he has in his hand, it can always go and get something like a Sensei's Divining Top or an Engineered Explosives, or he might well have sideboarded in a Moat.
Yeah, Moat's... pretty good, because only Delver really flies in that deck. Oh, looks that he's drawn...
There's a Delver.
Maybe it's the Delver that was at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so... Hetrick has the option of like.
And a wasteland on the red.
Okay, I don't think that will make too much difference. He's just got to work out whether he's going to enlighten to the end of turn. For probably not for the moment. It's probably not very good.
He does not choose to do the fetch and then enlighten in that moment.
Yeah.
And upkeep.
Oh, maybe he's going to enlighten. No, enlighten and upkeep. I don't think so. He may just try and. Oh, he's thinking.
I mean, he could get engineered explosives for 1.
Yep. I think that wouldn't. That's not a super powerful play here. I think he
goes for the draw phase.
Oh, he draws a plains, which is actually
a Caracas.
A Caracas. That's actually very good for him. It means he does not need to crack the flooded strand. Not that, like, the 1 life is. I don't think it really makes too much of a difference.
And he goes going to hard cast Entreat.
For 1, basically protecting himself against a Spell Pierce.
That seems fine to me.
Does give him a little bit of blocking.
And he's going to have a 4/4 Angel.
So, okay, there's the Angel.
We see a Brainstorm.
Brainstorm is not the card you want to see right now.
I really love Lauren's handling of Delver. That's awesome. I think I might copy that.
Just flips it nonchalantly on the
like
table.
it doesn't have to come out of the sleeve. Boo! I think he got told to do that.
I think just for the crowd out there, they wanted to see the whole card. So I think he's going to cast a Brainstorm that he's shown.
Main phase Brainstorm, the best kind of Brainstorm. We see a Ponder,
a Force, a Spell Snare, which is actually.
I think the Ponder's the only card in there that I want at this point.
Yeah, it's.
The Spell Snare helps later on.
Yeah, I think it's possible he wants them all there, because he may just like the Wasteland's not particularly great here, so I put back the Wasteland and maybe Ponder again. No, he just decides to wait.
Upkeep Enlightened for top.
Yeah, I think top. It's the other option is possibly going for Humility if you board it in. I don't think that's correct, but top really does give him a lot more options. If he does get counterbalance like reasonably soon, it's going to like be fairly impactful.
There's the top.
One thing the Hetrick has to worry about too is he only has 3 more minutes in regulation time. So he probably, if he wants to win, he probably has to start attacking like within a minute or 2.
He's gonna need to speed it up too. I mean, I know he wants to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, but playing too slow for the clock is a mistake.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It doesn't give him a draw is like this early in the tournament. It's you don't really necessarily want that. Lauren allows him, doesn't force it. Oh, hold on, maybe no.
He's got 2 activations on the stack. I think that's in case of Croson Grip.
Oh, really? That's.
He's like, yep.
So
second one, yep. All right.
So the 2 cards were 2 land and a Vendilion Click. It's very possible that he wants to get the Vendilion Click, and then I don't know if he wants to shuffle away his. So he main phases Vendilion Click.
I think we still have the last top shuffle on the stack at this point.
Oh, I see.
That gets Pyroblasted.
No.
Nope.
I guess
Okay.
No.
I think so. He set it, then drew.
Yep.
Got it. Ponder.
So.
Daze.
Yeah.
Spell, pierce or snare, land, and it all goes away.
Okay. Basically, we're closing in on 1 more minute in this round. Hetrick needs, like with the current creatures he has, he needs 5 turns, 5 hits, and
he can outdo it.
I don't think he really has 5 turns left in the game, so he may be already like considering playing for the draw here.
It's like a wasteland, I believe, from Lauren Nolen. Lauren can still win this game in extra turns.
Oh yeah. It's funny now. Oh, Lauren's actually wastelanded a Flutterstrand. Usually a bad play, but like he knows the top is on top of his deck, and so and basically Hetrick has to let the Flutter Strand die.
And he goes for a cast the top, look at the top.
There's a
Fetch, click? No, fetch, pierce.
Pierce. No, he's going to take the fetch, I think. Well, has to wait.
He puts the pierce on top just in case, apparently. I'm not sure what it would pierce at this point.
Well, I think he just keeps it there, and then he can always, at the end of turn, like, grab the fetch.
Oh yeah, he can change it around.
Yeah.
Brainstorm. We see another Wasteland. Is that what that is? Wasteland, Pyroblast, and I think is that a fetch land in there? No, it's a is that a lightning bolt?
It is. Ooh, it is a lightning bolt. Ooh. So, if he wants, he can actually put Hetrick to 2. Hetrick actually has a sack land on top, so he actually could be at 1. So if there's a way of like getting rid of or dealing with the angel for a turn, Hetrick will be dead. So now I believe time is called for.
It's close. It's close. Our clock is not necessarily directly on.
Yeah.
We'll let you know when we're in extra turns. Currently, we are not yet in extra turns. Draw, top.
Another top he sees. Not particularly useful.
Fetch.
Fetches.
Down to 4. Virtual 1.
This is dangerous times for Hetrick. Gets the 1 mountain in his deck. He actually has the 1 mountain in his sideboard. He had it in his main deck, but according to his deck list, he moved it to the sideboard. I guess whenever he brings in the Pyroblast, he'll bring in the mountain.
And we see the second top activation. Brainstorm put on top. Pyroblasts.
So he may actually like force a will that because he kind of needs it to. He needs that card to like possibly win the game here.
And there's the force.
Yep. Discard it, like removing
Spell
the
snare.
Yep.
That means the angel cannot attack. Says go.
Okay.
Loren draws a
Wasteland.
That to me looks like brainstorm fodder at this point.
Yeah.
If there are even any brainstorms left, Loren has cast quite a few. And main phase brainstorm from Michael Hetrick.
Okay. Oh yeah, the engineering explosives.
Explosives is good. 2
Yep.
lands and an EE.
So it's probably just gonna cast a 0 E to try and.
He tops to check what's out there. Now, a 0 engineered explosives will blow up his own angel.
Ooh, that is true.
Ponder.
Ponder does give.
Good card for Loren right now.
If he has any more bolts in his deck, he's looking good. No.
Daze, blue spell that I can't tell. Wasteland. Shuffle.
Yep. I wonder how many. The only burn spells that he has that he could have is like a chain lightning, which is basically definitely came out. He has 4 lightning bolts in his main deck, so we don't know how many he has left. I think that is all the burn, so it's not a lot of reach.
And a fetch land is drawn from that ponder. Pass it back. Hetrick draws. Hetrick then, after the draw, activates the top. Bunch of stuff that I don't think he wants. Lays the counterbalance.
That is...
Ouch. Pyro that.
Yep. Has to pyro that. The lightning bolt would get turned off for sure. So he needs to draw a burn spell. Still another land, a tropical island.
Land. And Lord Nolen plays the Scalding Tarn. His hand is Wasteland, Tropical Island, Lightning Bolt, I believe. We see Hetrick at the end of the turn activate. Once again, I believe that's some weak counter magic at this stage in the game that heads on top. Draws and then tops again. Looking for the new card. The new card, I could not tell what it was. He was too quick there.
I think he...
And he says go. Is that... Gosh, what did you just draw there, Lauren Nolen?
He's moving his hand pretty fast here. Can't tell. Another sack land. Ooh, Hetrick. If Hetrick sucks that sack land, so somehow
Pass, 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 pass. Draw the card. Main phase brainstorm.
I think he's gonna pyro that if he has it. No, he doesn't have a pyro anymore.
Land, I think spell snare. Spell pierce.
And a plow.
Oh, that might be the lights.
Yeah, that might maybe the second draw we see on camera today.
Uses the Sensei's Divining top to top. Counterbalance.
Counterbalance of them basically turns off the lightning bolt for the moment.
And we are now in time. So this is turn 0. We see a lightning bolt in response. Michael Hetrick will be knocked down to 1 life. But I do not think it matters any longer.
Yeah, I think with the plow in the hand of Hetrick, he's going to be okay. Unless I'm not sure. No, pretty much because there's a top on top of Hetrick's deck, he can defend against a lightning bolt now. So
we see a Swords to Plowshares. And Michael Hetrick comes in for 4, knocking Nolen to 21 minus 4 is 17.
okay.
And Nolen in turn 1 of extra turns here.
Yep. No lightning bolt, but probably wouldn't be that good. He'd have to cast it in the draw step, I guess.
Wasteland on Caracas. Just trying to keep the ability of an Entreat the Angels from being as powerful.
Yep. Okay.
Sensei's Divining Top off the top, followed by a look from the top. This is turn 2 of extra turns. Attack for 4. Nolen down to 13. Only 1 more attack step left for Michael Hetrick. So essentially Michael Hetrick on a play for a draw. And Nolen, turn 3 now.
Drew nothing, basically. Drew a...
Yep, and that can be stopped at will.
Yep.
Boom. And unless Michael Hetrick can find an Entreat right... Even then, no, it's nothing... Even then, with the sack, he doesn't have enough white mana to be able to make Angels at the end of the turn.
Yeah, so that's it.
That's going to be a draw.
And, yep, so it's a draw. Hetrick clung on to his 1 life to force a draw against Nolen.